We all face the task of starting a journey of self-discovery and self-affirmation at some point in our lives. In this situation, it's very important to learn how to set personal limits and know how powerful it is to say no. We frequently get stuck in the habit of prioritizing the needs and wants of others, even if it means putting our own goals and well-being first. The point of this reflection is to look into the dynamics behind this behavior and show how important it is to know and respect our own boundaries. We will talk about how leaving unhealthy situations or relationships is not only a way to protect yourself, but also a strong way to show self-respect and independence. We will look at different parts of this process and talk about how being able to say no and having a clear goal in life can change our relationships with others and ourselves, making our lives more authentic and satisfying. Let's begin. People often give their time and effort to others, even when it's not in line with their own wants or limits. This is an interesting and common trait, but why does this behavior happen? For example, it could be a deep-seated need to be respected and accepted on the inside, or maybe these people think that how other people see them has something to do with their own self-esteem. This worry about how other people see you too much can become a trap. If you worry too much about what other people think, you might lose who you are. You start to look like what other people want and think of you, as if your very existence rested on their approval. This can be tough, and it can often turn into a never-ending loop of trying to get noticed and liked. There are many reasons why people go on this journey to find peace. Some people may not be sure of their own worth and need approval from others to feel good about themselves. Others may have grown up in homes where getting love and attention meant meeting other people's needs, which made them think that's the only way to be liked or respected. It's important to remember, though, that constantly trying to win other people's approval can be a lonely and unfulfilling road. It's like chasing something that's always out of reach to fill a hole inside you. Having a better relationship with yourself and learning to value your own thoughts and wants may be the key to breaking this cycle. People who do this can start to live a more real and satisfying life, where other people's opinions are just one part of the whole and not what determines their happiness and self-esteem. There are times when many of us give other people our time and energy. But why does this take place? Is it a need to feel good about yourself or a strong desire to be valued? When we care too much about what other people think, they can hold us hostage. If you find yourself in this position a lot, I want to give you a good way to get back your independence and self-esteem. Walking away is the name of this approach. It might seem a bit sudden, but there are times when you need to take that step to confirm your power. We meet many different kinds of people in our lives. Some don't know how to respect limits, while others are too dependent or even mean and selfish. Not only does it reinforce your freedom, but it also gives you back control of your life to show these people that you are willing to leave. The ability to say no and having a clear sense of your life's direction are two key pillars that give walking away more strength. If you get caught up in other people's wants, or even worse, feel used or abused, it's likely that you have trouble saying no to requests and don't have a clear sense of what you're here for. Having a clear goal shows that you value your life and the time you spend on it. This naturally keeps you away from situations where people cross your limits. Focusing on your path makes it less important to get approval from other people. Keep in mind that walking away is a mindset of respect and self-worth, as well as a physical action. Take this stance to send a strong message. You are in charge of your life. Thanks for taking the time to read this and think about it. It might sound rude to walk away, but there are times when it's the only way to stand up for yourself in a given situation. We meet a lot of different people on our journey through life. Few of these conversations stick with us like leaves in the wind, but others are like roots that go deep into our hearts. Every experience, no matter how long or short, leaves its own mark on our lives. It's not always easy to decide to take a step back. A lot of the time, it comes with a mix of feelings, like happiness and sadness. But it's important to remember that being able to write our own stories shows that we are mature and self-aware. It's important to know when to say goodbye and close a chapter if you want to live a full and real life. Other people might think this choice is selfish in some situations. However, it's an act of self-defense. We make room for new chances and more meaningful experiences when we leave behind people or situations that don't fit with our values or goals. This journey of self-discovery is like a mosaic. Each meeting and goodbye adds a different color to the bigger picture of our lives. Even though they can be painful, these times of leaving are necessary for our growth. They show us our boundaries, what we want, and most importantly, who we really are. By sharing these thoughts, I hope to get people interested and curious, and to get them to look at their own lives in a new way that is full of learning and possibilities. When it comes to knowing and respecting personal boundaries, some of the people we meet are more difficult than others. Some people can be too dependent on us, holding to us, and needing too much of our time and energy. Even though these interactions are usually meant to be helpful, they can get tiring and throw off the balance of the connection. On the other hand, there are people who we might call nasty and mean-spirited. These are people who, sadly, see interactions with other people as chances to trick and take advantage of others. They may be mean to others by using snark, criticism, or abusive behavior to put them down, because they only care about themselves and not their well-being. Even though these bad exchanges are hard, they teach us important lessons. They teach us how important it is to set and stick to good boundaries. It's important for our mental health and personal growth to learn how to spot and deal with these kinds of people. When people treat us badly or disrespectfully, we should stand up for our values and not let them get away with it. When we choose to stay away from people who don't respect our limits, we send a strong message to both ourselves and them. This way of thinking makes it clear that we don't belong to anyone and that we have the freedom to choose who is in our lives. Withdrawing is not only a way to feel good about ourselves, but it's also a big step toward taking back control of our health and abilities. We may have chosen to keep our distance as a way to protect and keep ourselves safe. We are taking care of our mental and emotional health by staying away from toxic people and relationships that drain us. We're investing in our own growth and prioritizing our personal space. It serves as a warning that we are in charge of our own happiness and peace of mind. In addition, this action can have a big effect on people who often cross the line. It can make them think about what they're doing and give them a chance to see how their actions affect other people and maybe start changing how they act. The ability to say no with confidence and having a clear plan of action both reinforce the power of walking away. To start, the word no is a very useful tool for setting limits. It's easy to understand, straight, and works. You make your wants, preferences, and limits clear by saying no. This act of affirming yourself is important for keeping relationships healthy and polite. It's a statement of freedom that you are in charge of your actions and decisions. To say no is more than just to say no. It's an act of self-respect and self-awareness. It lets us turn down situations that make us unhappy, demands that are too much for us, and actions that don't respect us. It shows strength and confidence to use this word in a polite and assertive way. Second, direction is what gets us where we want to go, both in a physical and figurative sense. Having a path means that you have plans, goals, and a reason for living. It's easier to make choices and make decisions that are in line with your values and goals when you know where you want to go. Having a plan helps us stay focused and avoid negative effects and distractions. No and direction work well together. No keeps us safe from outside forces we don't want, and direction keeps us on track to reach our goals and dreams. For staying true to ourselves and following our own way, these two ideas are very important. If you often give in to other people's demands or, in the worst cases, are taken advantage of, controlled, or abused by them, this could mean that you have trouble saying no and don't know what you want out of life. These are red flags that need to be looked at carefully and thought about. People often can't say no because they want to please others, stay out of trouble, or think their own needs and wants are less important than others. At first, this behavior might not seem harmful, but it can cause a cycle of self-denial and anger, and it can make it easier to be used or mistreated. On the other hand, not having a clear direction can be caused by uncertainty, not knowing ourselves well enough, or being afraid to follow our true interests. If we don't have a clear direction, it's easy to be moved by other people's goals and will, missing the chance to live a life that is truly our own. Recognizing these patterns in oneself is the first step toward change. It starts with building self-esteem and self-awareness, figuring out what we really want and value in life. From there, we can practice being assertive, learning to say no when necessary, and setting and pursuing our own goals and dreams. In fact, not being able to say no or having a clear sense of what you want out of life can make you less firm and assertive. When we aren't rooted in our own values and goals, we are more open to other people's interests and can be used by them. People may feel compelled to impose their own wills and goals on someone who doesn't seem to have any. This can happen subtly or directly, but the outcome is the same. You might end up living a life that is more a reflection of other people's expectations and wants than of your own goals. It's important to stress that having a direction in life doesn't mean having a rigid plan or a fixed picture of the future. Having a direction means having a sense of purpose, knowing what's important to you, and making choices that are in line with your values and goals. Direction gives you a way to find your way through the challenges and difficulties of life. But being able to say no is an act of self-affirmation. It means understanding and respecting your own limits, needs, and wants. Saying no isn't just rejecting something you don't want. It's also a statement about who you are and what you value. Purchase the ebook now, Stoicism in the 21st Century, Ancient Strategies for Modern Challenges, if you're liking this. This ebook will help you find wealth, happiness, and better relationships. The link is in the pinned comment. When people see that someone isn't working toward their own goals, they might start to think that person's time is less valuable than their own. This way of thinking can create a bad situation in which you feel like you have to put other people's needs and wants ahead of your own. This kind of situation not only makes your time and effort seem less important, but it can also make it so that your own goals and dreams are always pushed to the back burner. This relationship can be subtle, and most of the time it's not done on purpose to hurt someone. It does, however, reinforce the idea that other people's needs are more important, which can cause someone to neglect their own needs over and over again. You might miss out on the chance to invest in yourself and your own goals if you spend most of your time meeting other people's standards. This case shows how important it is to have a sense of direction and purpose. Having clear personal goals can help you set healthy limits and make choices that are in line with your values. You don't have to ignore other people's needs. You just need to find a way to help others while also taking care of yourself. It's also important to learn to value your own time and work. To do this, you need to know how valuable you are and how important your own goals and dreams are. People will learn to value themselves if you value yourself. People who think others aren't as focused on their own goals might think that if you take the time to meet their needs, you are actually beneficially using your time to support their goals. This point of view is flawed because it only values your time and work in terms of how helpful they are to others, not how they make you feel or help you grow as a person. This mindset can make you think that your worth is tied to how useful you are to other people, rather than realizing how valuable you already are as a person. This way of thinking not only makes your own goals and wants seem less important, but it can also make you lose confidence and be unhappy with your life. It's important to remember that helping other people is only one way to spend your time wisely. Your time is also truly valuable when you are working toward your own goals, taking care of yourself, or just doing things that make you happy and content. When you commit yourself fully and purposefully to a personal goal, you are on a journey of deep self-appreciation. This commitment not only shows that you have clear priorities, but it also sends a strong message that you value your time and life and that you should use each minute in a thoughtful and meaningful way. Choosing to live with a clear purpose changes the way others see you in a fundamental way. They start to see someone who makes conscious decisions about how to spend their time, someone who is not a resource that can be used by anyone at any time. Instead, you are seen as a person with your own wants, needs, and passions. There are several big benefits to committing to your goals. First, you'll feel more authentic and honest because your actions and choices will start to reflect your inner values and beliefs. This will give you a sense of real and authentic life. Second, your self-respect will grow, and other people will respect you more as a result. When you value your own time, you naturally teach others to do the same. This commitment can also serve as an inspiration for those around you. When they see how hard you work and what results you get, you become a good example and inspire them to follow their own dreams and passions. Setting healthy boundaries is also very important. When you set clear goals for yourself, you learn to decline requests that don't fit with your priorities. This helps you find a good balance between meeting other people's needs and your own. Additionally, keeping your attention on your own goals and aims is a good way to walk away from situations where your boundaries are crossed or where you are being abused. This ability to stay away from bad situations is important in many areas of life, such as work, relationships, and even friendships. While you're at work, for example, having a clear sense of direction can help you tell when something is getting harmful or dangerous. It's important for your mental health and job growth to know when and how to step back, whether it's because of co-workers who don't respect your boundaries or an unbalanced and too heavy workload. Also, being able to stay true to your own goals and values in personal relationships, like marriage or friendships, can help you tell when these relationships are hurting or becoming unfair to one person. It's not always easy to see when a close friendship is hurting you more than it's helping you, but if you focus on your own wants and goals, you'll be better able to tell when it's time to pull away and look for relationships and environments that are healthier and more balanced. Being able to step back isn't just a way to protect yourself, it's also a sign of respect for yourself. It means knowing how valuable you are and that you deserve to be in relationships and situations that treat you with respect and kindness. Through incorporating these ideas into a story, the lesson is one of self-defense and empowerment. It makes people think about how important it is to keep themselves safe from bad situations and how important it is to look for places that are good for their health and personal growth. Keeping your eye on your own road can help you care less about other people's problems and thoughts. When you focus on yourself, you don't need to look for support from other people as much. You start to understand that you don't need to prove anything to anyone else but yourself. Knowing and believing in yourself in this way is freeing and necessary for living a real and happy life. A strong way to protect your self-respect and integrity is to walk away from people who hurt you and places that are bad for you. In fact, this is a sign of strength and self-awareness, not weakness. You are choosing not to let unhealthy relationships or events hurt your mental health and well-being by making this choice. This way of thinking also makes it clear to those around you that you are in charge of your life and decide who and what deserves your time and energy. This doesn't mean you don't care about your friends, family, or partners. In fact, it shows that you love and value them, but aren't relying on them for your happiness or sense of self-worth. Setting and sticking to healthy boundaries is a way to show that you respect yourself and your relationships. When negotiating, walking away sends a strong message, especially when it comes to business. It lets the other person know that you have other options and that, while you are interested, you are not completely dependent on that deal to move forward. This shows confidence and an abundance mindset, which can be very helpful in negotiations. A person with an abundance mindset doesn't necessarily have a lot of money, stuff, or friends. Instead, it's about having a positive outlook on life, being happy, and believing in your own abilities to make opportunities happen. When you think this way, you give off a confidence and self-sufficiency that can be very appealing and convincing to others. This idea also works in personal relationships. It's normal and important to love and care about the people in your life, but it's also important to know that you don't need them to be happy or feel like you're worthwhile. Knowing this helps you build healthier, more balanced relationships, where neither person is too dependent on the other. Being ready to walk away and take the negotiation seriously is often the strongest position in a negotiation. This is because it shows that you are making a choice and not acting out of desperation or necessity. By being ready to leave the negotiation table if the conditions are not favorable, you keep control and honesty of the situation. This stance not only increases your chances of getting a good outcome, but also makes sure that, no matter what, you are honest and in control. If you liked this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel for more Stoic wisdom, and let us know what you think in the comments. Don't stress out, and see you next time.